Okay, so webinar should be getting live now. For people who are waiting, you should be able to join. I see a number of people coming in now. Hello, hello. For those that join in, you can say hi in the chat and where you guys are coming from. And if you're joining us on YouTube, you can join us in a Zoom link. There's a link that you can apply to join. You can join us there. Hi, you can say hi where you guys are coming from, logging in from. Awesome, Amsterdam. I actually don't know what OZ stands for, but it's good to see you guys. And first and foremost, welcome to Ahrefs. If you guys are new users on our platform, or perhaps even returning users on our platform, we're excited to see you here. Hopefully this webinar will be useful for you to understand a bit more about where things are, what you can do with them, especially if you get stuck, what sort of resources you can check out in order to further your SEO journey or marketing journey as a whole. Because now we're going beyond SEO in terms of our the solutions that we provide. OZ is Australia. Okay, cool. Thanks for joining in. I think it is like late afternoon in Australia, so happy that you're able to join us in spite of that. Okay, without further ado, you guys can see my screen. I'll go ahead and go through our slides here. So if you have any questions while we're going along the webinar, you can share them in the Q&A that is inside the Zoom application that I have here. We have a Q&A section, so please ask your questions there. We will answer Q&A questions at the end of the content that we're showing today, okay? Today's webinar is an hour. Oops. Today's webinar is an hour. We'll try to keep it within the hour. But if there are any questions that you have outside of today's webinar material, we can answer them afterwards, after the hour. We'll see, depending on how many people's questions we have here today. Okay, without further ado, let's begin with the powerful ways Ahrefs can help you win more in search and AI. Okay, so you've just created an account on Ahrefs. So what's next? This is like a common question people ask whenever they log into your account and they go, hey, so I see this in my platform. There's so many tools. There's so many projects and portfolios and reports, things that I can do, things to click around. I have no idea where to get started. I just want to focus on how to improve my brand, my website's SEO, or recently geo. Where do I begin? And while we do have a lot of different tools on our platform now, since we've been developing so many of them over the years, all of the tactics related to SEO and geo can be put roughly into 3 buckets, okay? In terms of how to understand the data that can help you improve either SEO or geo. There are what are customers searching for? Or, I mean, in the case of geo prompting, and what do they see? The second is, what is working for my competitors? And the third is, what could third parties, or which third parties could talk about me or my brand? These are the kind of like rough areas that Ahrefs can help with, right? As well as a fourth one, which is how is my own website or brand doing? So it's understanding both what's happening out there, either on the customer side or competitor side, or in the third parties that are talking about either you or your competitors. And then finally, monitoring the performance of your own website or brand over time. Okay, and so you can see in each section I've put in like different tools that are correlated to helping answer the questions that are in each category. And some like tools help to answer like more than one. So you see that I've tried to split them up here. So if you have some idea of like what different tools are able to help you achieve, this is like a very high level overview of how you can understand Ahrefs can help you and what the different tools do. Okay, so let's dig in. So the first section is what are people searching for and what do they see, right? The first tool that you can like check out here is Keywords Explorer. So there are a lot of different keywords related tools and providers out there. I can show you some of the different features that Ahrefs has that other tools maybe do not have that you can take advantage of. So if you'd like to follow along, I'm logged in here on my platform in the dashboard. You can go over to Keywords Explorer. And since we have quite we have a number of people here, uh, feel free to shout out your industry or like questions that your customers may ask, like different keywords that you're working on today in the chat. And we can use it as an example. I see safety shoes. We'll do two examples here, okay? Um, okay, I'm just gonna take safety shoes and maybe vibe coding. So let's say safety shoes. And Michael, which market are you from? Like Michael Passett? Which country are you from? Netherlands and Belgium. Let's just put Netherlands for now. Okay. And if you have, I think it should be a standard or a higher subscription, you can ask AI to suggest more keywords related to safety issues so that, I mean, I can think about different keyword ideas myself, or I can just quickly generate some here. So maybe challenges and pain points related to safety issues. Just to get some ideas here. Oh, they even generated them in Dutch. Cool. All right, that's probably useful for our case anyways. But I will not be able to understand. But let's just give a search and see what we can find, okay? So you put in a bunch of different keyword ideas here. Most likely, many of them are very long, so they're not going to be on database. That's okay. The English one does have basically 2,000 search volume per month. Let's go into the matching terms report to what this does over here is it'll look at all the keywords that you entered in, and you'll say that are there any keywords in the Ahrefs database that contains like one or more of these words? Okay, so and we keep keywords in our database that have some minimum like search volume per month. So if it's in our database, that means that there is more that like, as a minimum number of searches. Like for example, a lot of them are in the small ranges here, 50 or 40 searches a month. You can see there are a lot of different keyword ideas. So in the slides here, I have like two different features that I can showcase to you guys today. And one is one of our newer features, which is to filter by intents. Okay? Let's say I want to look at only keywords that are branded. They have like some brand in the search query. And I think a lot of these are already going to be branded, but like let's just filter out and see. Okay, yeah, and so we get an idea of like people that are searching for particular brands of safety shoes. and you can see which are the brands that are at the top here. In this case, you can see New Balance and Puma at the top, and then like some of the smaller brands at the bottom. Interestingly, small amounts of people search for Nike and Adidas, usually not known for their safety shoes, but perhaps they have those. I'm not sure. Not in the industry. But yeah, that's a good overview to see. Quickly filter out branded keywords. You can do the opposite and search for non-branded. You can do the same for local or non-local. And you can also filter for keywords which are referring to different parts of the search funnel, like people who are either trying to learn about safety shoes versus people who are immediately trying to buy safety shoes. Like the keywords that you'll be searching are different. So I can do that and filter for transactional, for example, and see what sort of keywords show up. Right, so there is quite the overlap because usually when people are searching for a brand, in this case, they're likely already searching for ways to buy safety shoes. But I can see over here that like there's some people are looking for like light safety shoes women, different kinds of things. So this is and how this filtering works is actually we analyze the search results, and see based on the results what are the intents most like uh most likely referring to. So Google tries to match keywords with like the results based on what they think the intent is. So if there are a lot of product pages in the search results, then it is more likely related to transactional versus informational, which could be like Wikipedia pages or something like that, right? So it's a useful feature for you here. And we saw earlier, so let's clear this filter for now, that you can cluster by parent topic. So this is another feature that allows you to do. What is the difference between the different intents? Okay, I'll quickly answer this. You can hover over the difference here. So commercial is they're at the sort of deciding stage of what to buy. So they're looking for information to compare different brands, different models, maybe different different outlets even. That could be like on the commercial side. Transactional is like they're looking for a specific, I want to buy so and so. Yeah. So if there are things on our platform you're not familiar with, a lot of our headers here, well, not these, but like for example, these headers, you can hover over them. They have information about what they're about, as well as like supporting documents, articles, if you want to learn more about them. So anytime you don't like understand something, this is like, you can see if these things show up first. Okay. So parent topic. The question is, what is parent topic? Parent topic is a I think I would consider it a metric in Ahrefs where it is the top. So for example, we take for in this case like Puma safety shoes, right? For example. The parent topic for Puma safety shoes is also Puma safety shoes because what we do is we look at the top search result for this keyword, and we see which keyword is driving the most traffic to that page. In this case, it's Puma safety shoes. And what that does is that I think the other keyword that I picked later on might have a better example than this, but like it is likely that if you rank for this keyword, you're also likely to rank for all these other keywords. Right, so like it helps you find like a more dominant topic that you can put your efforts into ranking, which then allows you to rank for like the other less or say less popular keywords. So, and Google will often, like when you try to put in the efforts to rank for one particular keyword, you don't only rank for one keyword, you rank for multiple. So these multiples, like in our case, we can see that they typically share the same parent topic. Okay, so that's how we find like related keywords for a particular topic. Let's give a different example with vibe coding. Anton Mosharov, where are you from? Vibe coding, a very Popular Dubai? Okay, interesting. Dubai? Well, it should be UAE in this case. Right, so we can see what is the popularity. Not much. Keyword difficulty unknown. So we don't have to search for this yet. If you don't see like if you need to manually update the search for certain keywords, this is available only in a standard or higher plan, but it allows you to see, okay, United States. All right, let's do United States. So let's see United States instead. 58,000. A lot more, but I mean it's a much bigger market. So similarly, we can go into any of the keyword idea reports here because this is just the statistics for one keyword. Then I can look at multiple keywords that have either vibe or coding in it, which is going to be many. And like I can again stack on multiple of these filters to filter down. So for example, I want to see a lot of these are like of keywords of very small search volume. So let's look for keywords that have a global where I can filter for it. Global volume of at least 500 or yeah, 500. Let's take it or global search volume of 500. Yeah. So now we filtered it down to 37 keywords. And from there, I know that because in this case, it's a less specific market, like localized market specific keyword compared to maybe other keywords like vibe coding, something that happens like around the world. So like if I want, I can filter for a minimum global volume. So I can only pick the keywords that other places are searching for too. Right, and similarly, I can stack on like the intents that we saw earlier. So maybe I want to look for informational keywords, which I think most of them would be. But in this case, a lot of them don't have SERPs updated. Yeah, I think most of these are, it's not a entirely good example here, but maybe I can show you how clustering by parent topic looks like. Okay, they all have the same parent topic. Because all the SERPs are not updated. All right, let me try to do something here just to help us see. So I thought vibe coding would have more search volume, but I guess not. Or like different keywords related to search to vibe coding. So I guess not. Not yet. People are not catching the train just yet. Let's update. Just to give an example. I will take the examples that you guys are sharing here for other parts of the platform. So don't worry, guys. Uh, while we're waiting for this to load, Ronan Turner asked, what about keyword suppression? Leverage keywords that will push down negative PR. Would love some tips around this. I'm sorry, Ronan, this is actually the first time I've heard of keyword suppression, so I may need to circle back to you guys later once I maybe check with my team that might know a bit more about this. At least here we don't really know. So I've just updated the search for many of these keywords. So now I think we can try to see if we can cluster. So we have a number of different keywords here that are in different clusters. All right. Well, I guess, all right, never mind. I will check with our team later. In this case, there's only one cluster. All right. Let's move on to the next uh, way of understanding what people are searching and where and understanding what they see. So I will have to mention our tool brand radar. I know this is an add-on that you will not have on your base plan, but I'll show you some parts of it that at least a number of you guys would have access to in brand radar that are not related to AI tools. Okay. So I'm going to quickly and if you want to have an idea of what the AI side, search side looks like, you can try these demos. All of these will be able to support all the platforms here. So you can see like information about which AI overviews or AI modes are mentioning what keywords are causing the brands Tesla, BYD, Rivian, Lucid to show up either in the keywords or the responses, either the prompts or the responses. And if I want to dive down deeper, you can look into AI responses here. Okay, this is just to quickly like show you that you can have a look at what the AI search parts of Brand Radar looks like, even if you don't have the add-on. So, but I want to show, so earlier someone was looking at, let's look at pet insurance. So in this case, I'm just gonna put in pet insurance, right? I don't know companies that provide pet insurance. What are some pet insurance companies? Pet insurance companies. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Louise. Let's just put that in. So pet. I'm gonna just put this one, Petgevity. Oops. As the main brand. And I can suggest some competitors here. Looks like these are the competitors. And by the way, anytime you enter in your brand, you can add in like different name variations. Sometimes these are typos. Sometimes these are, for example, if a brand has acquired other brands, then you consider them in the same entity, like the different sub companies of the same mother company here. And you can also put in like, for example, the URL Petgevity. So I assume this is petgevity.com. Nope. Wait. .co.uk. There you go. All right. So then you put in the URL here. Oops. Update. Okay. And we explore it. So if you don't have access to this, that's okay. What we're looking at is search demand here. And so we get to see as a whole what the search demand looks like for search queries. I think in this case, this is for all locations. So we're not even filtered for a particular country here. This is something you can do in Brand Radar that you can't do in Keywords Explorer, is to see like the search demand and of different entities across multiple countries. So Brand Radar can provide that, right? And you can see here like overall small number of keywords that contain, so this is number of search queries. If we want to look at search volume, that might be different though. Yeah, there you go. And you can see that currently the dominant brand here is nationwide, right? So then I can see what all the search queries are. Now I think it's filtered for a country, but like before you can see it for all countries. And now you can see, okay, for a particular brand, what are the keywords that are related to this brand? Oops. Let's go back very quickly. Yep. Search demand. Don't know what happened there. Okay, I had to change this because I don't know, it was not kept earlier. These are not, some of these are not. There you go. All right. I think there was Nationwide earlier or something, but I'm not sure if Nationwide is actually a real pet insurance brand. Okay, so that's something you don't need to add on to see basically the number of search queries and search volume of those queries per month. You can also see them as a more cumulative number. And from there, you can see the trends of like how often people search. It looks like everyone bumps up. Like in this case, you can see in a way has some seasonality because people are more likely to search for information about their insurance, I think, on an annual basis to purchase for their pet. That seems to make sense. Uh, if you have standard or higher plan, you can also see web visibility. So you can see how many pages contain or mention particular brands. So this is your way. So if you do not have the Brand Radar AI add-on, AI indexes add-on, you can see the pages and the number of pages that mention different brands and how they trend over time. Why does this matter? It's because the brand mentions on external pages is a critical factor of how likely you are going to show up as a generated answer in AI overviews, AI mode, ChatGPT, Perplexity. So that's a factor we see that's quite consistent across all these different platforms. So you should see how either your brand or your competitor's brand is being mentioned in what kind of pages. Right? You can see them trending over time. I think there was a lot of effort that was being pushed out, and then that has come down a little bit in the recent months. Okay, and of course you can click to see further information. I can see which are the pages. I can also filter for, a lot of these filters are in fact very similar to Content Explorer, which is a different tool, which is basically the same. So these are all the pages that Ahrefs has ever indexed, and we are trying to see mentions for this particular keyword, right? And then on top of this, we can like filter for specific languages and platforms. We can also say, I want to see all, I think minus truepanion.com. Right, so over here you can see that you can remove mentions of particular keywords. You can filter, you can do like advanced filters using these operators here. Minus site equals. Okay, minus site. So this lets you see pages that are not Trumpanion, but contain the keyword Trumpanion. And that gives me ideas of places where I can get my brand either mentioned. So this could be your competitor, or this could be you auditing your mentions of your brand on other websites. Is this all about AI search visibility? Mentions matter also in SEO. It's just that in the past, backlinks also matter like quite a lot. So you have to not only have other websites mention your brand, it should be backlinked to your website. So you can, a tool like this, for example, is very good at finding pages that could mention your brand, but maybe they're not backlinking. You can check out the author or reach out to the website owner and say, hey, like I see that you guys mentioned our brand. Why don't you like share a link to us so people can find us easier? That's something you can do. Okay, so that is for monitoring brands' performance in web and AI search using Brand Radar as a very quick overview. What to do with these insights? These like learning, knowing what are the pages that show up for the things people search for allows you to plan your content strategy. So if there are a lot more, if people are searching for things with your brand in it or with your competitor's brand in it, to either learn more stuff, you can consider building pages that are more around educating your audience. Or if they're going straight into like buying things, you can see, for example, we saw earlier like light safety shoes or safety shoes for women. These then form like the categories of your website that you can structure to better answer the queries that people search for. Content formats. So if we go back here, some of these, so let's say there are questions about, I'm going to give you a sneak peek here. So let's say people are asking for best pet insurance for miniature Dachshund, right? So you can see that like one of them is actually a Facebook post as the links that AI is being used, that is referencing. And you say, but Constance, I didn't buy this add-on, so how can I search for this using a different tool that doesn't require the add-on? So you can actually go to, if I go to Site Explorer, So I'm just going to put in Petjevity here, just to give an example, right? Oops. We have a quick overview of like the different citations that are in these either in Google AI overviews, or soon we'll put in AI mode, and other and like one that's coming up soon is also Reddit. So you can go into organic keywords and you can filter for SERP features, AI overview. So this won't show you what the AI overview result contains, like what is the generated text, but it will show you, for example, the citations. I can show you how this works. So you see here that there's an AI overview for this one, PetSure Pet Insurance. So I open up the SERP. Where is the AI overview? Hiding somewhere. Here it is. So I can see the citations here. So in this case, they're just citing like the front pages. But sometimes this is Reddit, sometimes this is YouTube. So this tells you that these are the other platforms that are also being used that you should be present on when trying to grow visibility for your website or your brand, right? And it also helps you understand like what are the topics that you should be talking about. So sometimes you think that you can create content about something, a particular area, but you see that people are not searching for it. So then you need to check out what things people are actually searching for. Otherwise, you can create the content, but it will not serve the demand. As well as explore new markets and product ideas. Sorry, go ahead. Explore new markets and product ideas. So sometimes while you're doing your keyword research, you might come across like new areas, like new queries that people are searching you may not realize. And this becomes like new opportunities for you to grow, like because people are already searching for it. So maybe you can see if you can serve that demand. There are some questions here about AI search and like kind of in general. I will answer these at the end. So I hope to sort of go through the webinar content before I can get to it. I hope that's okay. So please stick around later on. So the second section is what's working for my competitors. So we have a lot of competitor analysis tools here on Ahrefs because we scrape the whole web with our very like the fastest SEO crawler across SEO tools. So we really do have an index of like many pages in the world, as long as they allow us to index their page. This allows us to check for changes that happen over time. So I think I'm gonna take someone else's category, or is Razvan here? Razvan Hodea? Sorry if I'm not saying your name correctly. Maybe you can share your website. Show your website. Maybe we can give an example. Yeah. So hopefully you allow Ahrefs to, why can't I copy things? To index your website. And if you do, looks like you do, what we can do is we can do page inspect. So we can go into the top pages here. And all the way at the end, there's an inspect here. So let's say in this case, you're comparing 2 years apart. I want to see the changes. I click on the inspect tool. I can see that basically there was using a tool like this, I can basically see what has changed over time. There was a change in essentially branding of the website, right? It looks like you've changed the wordings here and stuff like that. This is very useful because you can compare this with any changes in traffic. I think at the overview that we give this option to show over time changes that were made to the website. And this gives you an idea of, for example, if there was a bump in traffic, you can go to any of these circles here and view the changes to see if they correlate, the changes correlate with the increase in traffic. Okay, so this is one of the ways to analyze things. Similarly for drop in traffic, maybe you have like a page or a page or a blog that you're working on that used to drive traffic and it dropped suddenly. You can see that maybe there was either some changes to the page that were unintentional. Same for your competitors, and they may have tried to make some changes, and then they have dropped in traffic. You can analyze to see what has changed and see whether or not this is something that you should do or should not do. That's something that our tool helps you do. Find gaps in your content strategy in seconds. Okay, so I'm going to take this website. So if you don't know that there's one tab here in Site Explorer called Opportunities, and it's a quick way to look at different opportunities, which is like tactics and SEO that at least we have used to like pretty good effect. They help you find ways to improve your content or your pages in some way or form. So in this case, I was showing the content gap tool in competitor analysis. This is opportunity number 3. Okay, so this report, if I click this, it will look at the top 10 competitors for this website, and it'll put it into the competitor analysis tool immediately. This takes a bit of a while because they got to fetch the top 10 competitors for the website you enter in and then load the report. There you go. And you'll look at the keywords that the competitors, all these competitors here, what they rank for that the main website, utila.io, does not rank for. Okay, so you see that there are a number of the keywords here. Most of them, some of them have some brands, some of them related to different chains. If I want to maybe filter out fire, so I saw some keywords related to fire blocks. I don't think I want to rank for someone else's brand. I have no interest in doing that. What I can quickly do is see what keywords that at least 2 competitors rank for that I don't rank for. Why is this useful? Is because then I can look for 2 competitors are more likely to rank for like industry related keywords rather than just their own brand. So now I have a list, instead of 2,000 keywords, I have 89 keywords. That is a much easier list to go through. There you go. Then I have some ideas of what these websites rank for, what kind of keywords here that they're getting at least some visibility in the SERP for. And this basically becomes content ideas or categories that I can create on my own website. Okay? That's how you use this content gap tool. The other thing you can do is something that I shared earlier, which is to see which overviews cite your competitors' pages. You can also do this for any SERP, SERP feature. So let's go back to and in fact, you can do it in multiple tools. Any tools that have like organic keywords in it, you can filter for particular SERPs. All right, so let's clear this filter here. At least I'm going to say in the top 10. At least in the top 10. Okay, so I can filter this particular report as well as others. So anytime I see this feature for SERP feature here, let's say I want to look for keywords that rank for. Just give a quick overview here. I mean, I can just filter to see where AI overview shows up. I can also filter, for example, videos. Maybe I want to consider if what video ideas might be useful to create, if that is another channel you're working on. There you go. So here I can see keywords where like the video SERP feature shows up, which implies that people are looking for videos to watch rather than just seeing like plain results. There you go. Okay, and this is shows up in the SERP, so they don't necessarily rank for it, but videos show up. So like if you want, you can look into the SERP here to confirm that. Decentralized applications. People also ask, I think you have to open up. So this one has AI overview showing them. I want to look for something that has videos. Okay, let's remove this one. And see if the video SERP shows up, which looks like not that many keywords. So a lot more keywords are generating AI overview answers, and Google seems to increase that day by day for different industries and stuff. Okay, only 3 keywords have videos as answers. That's interesting. Sorry, it's taking a while, but yeah. So this is basically, if the report loads, you'll be able to see it. But so this is basically a very useful way of using this competitor analysis tool. If you have not tried it out, please try it out. I believe it should be available for light or higher, I think. Yeah, there you go. Here's an example. So Web3 software, videos. So you can see like the different videos that are being showing up in the SERP results here. Okay, so that's an easy way to kind of filter through keyword ideas of your competitors to see like what they are ranking for, not ranking for, and these are basically ideas that you can take for it. For example, in this case, this competitor is ranking position 1. That's a lot of, if not traffic, it's visibility, brand visibility for what is quite fundamental terms for this person's industry here. Okay. Discover your competitor's most linkable assets. Can I get someone else to share their website, please? Someone else that we have not covered. Higherbound, yeah, fastest fingers first. So let's this one. Higherbound.io. Let's put that in. Now I want to look at competitors' best linking assets. So I'm going to put in your website. Copy. I'm going to put in your website and then find your competitors. Okay, and there are a few ways to do this. We have one report here. Sometimes you can check, have a look at, but like if you don't rank for many keywords, then this shows up. Huh? Yeah, your website doesn't rank for any keywords. So if you were not able to generate this report if you don't rank for organic keywords. All right, yeah, I'll have to probably take the next person. Sorry, Kumar, we will maybe show your website for a different use case. Here. Maybe this one does. This one does. All right. This looks like I'm not sure what your website does, but we will soon find out. Let's click the organic competitors report. Okay, so what this report does is that it takes organic keywords that your website ranks for, and basically it looks for other websites that have like a large overlap of organic keywords that like rank. And this helps you. So if you don't know what your competitors are, or you say like, oh, I don't have that many competitors, I don't know who's competing with me in search results, this is a quick way to find examples of your competitors that do. Meanwhile, I'm going to check your organic keywords so I can quickly find some competitors here, because this report typically takes quite a while, unfortunately. It churns through a lot of data. Let's do non-branded keywords. Intents, there you go. Let's do non-branded. This is like another way to find competitors here. call center scripting software. So maybe I can look at this. Looks like a competitor, dialpad.com. I hope I'm right. Yeah, looks like they are a competitor. So let's put their website in. Okay. I'm gonna duplicate the tab here. Duplicate. Put in their website instead. And now I'm going to, let's just take the whole domain just in case. I'm going to look at this report here. It's called Best Buy Links. I want to see the pages in my competitor's website that are attracting the most backlinks. I can filter this off for, let's say I only want the best links. So I don't care if there are particular pages in my competitors' websites that like attract a lot of like low quality backlinks. It's not interesting to me. So I can turn this filter on if I wish. And so, okay, so you can see that mainly it is their like landing page, but also glossary terms. So, reports about video conferencing. Okay, interesting. Virtual phone number for business. This is like a free tool, looks like a free tool. So, information about a particular aspect of IVR system. I'm not sure, but and then like these are listicles. So I just found out the different ways that my competitor is attracting links. They are useful glossaries. They are informational articles. They are free tools, right? Different listicles. So this is basically a way in which if I want to build backlinks for my website, I can check to see what is working for my competitors, what is attracting the most backlinks for them, and see if I can A, make something similar, B, make a better version of my competitor, or C, maybe there are some of these like areas that they're not covering as well, but they're similar. Now I can create pages for that. Right, so that's why a report like this is very useful. It's the Best Buy Links report. Okay. What to do with these insights? Yeah, can you make a better version of their best work? Is there a customer segment that your competitors don't like cover as well? So you saw the best pages, you saw the keywords that they rank well for. Are there certain keywords that they don't seem to cover? That's your opportunity. Is everyone doing thing A? Is everyone always creating the same boring like free tools, or like the articles is saying the same thing? Can you say something different? And of course, last one is, are there some pages or changes that they made to their website that don't make sense? Don't follow them. Okay, so that's what you can do with information like that. The third is, which third parties could talk about my brand? So this is like, aside from your competitors, other websites in the web should be talking about you, and ideally in ways that are relevant to your business. They should be mentioning what your product does, or maybe where your business is based, or the benefits of it, or sometimes even like the pros and cons about it. People in forums should be talking about you. So which forums and under what categories? These are things that, and if they talk about you, it matters. It builds like brand visibility across the web for SEO. It also builds brand visibility for generative search. So these are both things that are important. So earlier, we were using Brand Radar. You can see citations. So I think let's, can someone give more of like maybe brands or even like industries that you're in, but I think mainly brands that you want to see. Goodenergy.co.uk. This is like a energy provider. Oops. So your brand is Good Energy. All right. Let's go into brand reader here. Sustainable energy. Let's see if AI knows that. Looks like AI understands that your brand is about sustainable energy sources, so they have found some competitors for you. Let's explore. Okay. In this case, we can see, all right, there's like topics and whatever, but there's a section here about top-cited domains. So this is something that we see very often, which is that like even for like Ahrefs, for example, the top websites being cited about a particular brand is often not the brand website itself. It's YouTube, it's Wikipedia, it's Reddit and stuff like that. In this case, Octopus managed to get quite a number of citations. That's quite impressive. Yeah, that's quite impressive that it got cited at the top here. But a lot of times it's like none of these are goodenergy.co.uk. They're not bulb energy. They're not ecotricity. So it really matters that you build a presence of your brand on other pages, on other websites. Other entities should be talking about you. Yeah, right? So some of these could be like Wikipedia is here and it's being referenced when talking about different brands. So you have to keep that in mind. It could be government websites, it could be review websites, it could be partner, like contractor websites could be talking about different brands. So these are different websites which you should take into account. You can reach out to them and say and find opportunities for reasons that they should talk about your brand. Maybe it's a new product you pushed out, maybe it's analysis you want to make that customers might benefit learning about certain facts about like choosing good products or like pitfalls people commonly make. These are all conversations that like if that perhaps all these third-party websites in your industry would like to hear more about. And that's kind of like there are different ways you can pitch yourself in. All right, so this is the case for, and then I mean in this case you can filter through the different AI indexes, but let's look for web visibility. All right, so this again, like that we showed earlier, is mentions that are outside. In this case, it's mentions that sometimes includes your competitors, but I can filter this out later if I want by putting in the URLs of each competitor website here, and to help filter out like so I can only see like third-party websites, The Guardian, Express, Independent, all these like PR websites. Business Green is something that seems to be industry specific and not just the same like news websites, right? These are places that like likely will that you can consider to see whether or not they're worth spending energy to get mentioned or to for them to talk about you. And like it's better than just building brand visibility on a website that has nothing to do with what your industry nothing to do with your industry and nothing to do with what your company does. What other example I wanted to share? It's the next one, I believe. Competitors' key authors. So let's go back to, let's pick one competitor here. I think I saw Ecocitry. Or let's do Octopus Energy because there were so many like references that were being made. Citations from Octopus Energy. Bum, 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 this one. Okay, let's look at, so let's go to their Site Explorer. Okay, and let's go to authors, anchors, linking authors. Which are the people that link to Octopus Energy? We see it's Arsenal Media, Tom Christie, Jonathan Rogers. So you can see, oh, last 2 years. Let's look for last 3 months, maybe. There you go. Okay, Jade Wright, Carlos Simone. So these are like the authors here that you can check out. You can also check out how they link to Octopus Energy. The website says. Okay, this looks suspicious. Let's filter out for best links only. Okay, that's better. So you see that a repeat like the same links like repeat a lot of times, a little suspicious. Let's look for like real human beings here. And again, it's only just a click of like filtering out for best links. That's a feature you can do in Ahrefs. So you can say that they are looking for, okay, they write for a magazine, they're in a particular forum, right? So, and then like you can look into these pages to see how exactly they're being linked. Okay, so this is a way, and then like, so you can also like follow them. So these are like real people, which you can check out, maybe reach out to them on their socials to see whether or not in what ways that they write about particular energy brands and where they're present on different publications. And these are the publications they're on. And you can see, yeah, businesschief.eu, you can see what angles they like writing to and see if you can pitch to them specifically ways in which your brand can be mentioned. Okay. This one we kind of covered earlier. We're running short of time, so I want to go faster. But let's go quickly to the next section here. How is my own website or brand doing? So one that I think many of you guys would have already started is your site audit for your website. This is very straightforward tool. We basically compile lots of different so we're currently in a section of understanding how your own website's doing, right? So that's what site audit helps you do. It helps you look into what are the technical SEO issues that you have. In like there are a lot of articles that sort of cover and like that we cover about the different technical issues that matter, but a tool like site audit makes it very easy to analyze because you can just we help you audit for over 170 different issues here. If you want to see the full list, it's actually under all issues. They're all tracked. So this is like the full list of like different issues that are being found at different like severities. And if you don't know which one to focus on first, you can focus on the red ones, these error ones, the broken links. They have the highest severity, which usually has the biggest impact to indexability as well as SEO as a whole. Right, so you should fix your broken pages, you should fix your broken links. And if there are particular issues that you don't know too much about, so for example, you don't know what a hreflang is, you can check out why and how to fix at the top here. It has information about what this issue is about and like suggestions about how to fix it, as well as oftentimes an additional article that goes into more detail. Okay? Sorry, Luis. One of those brands is called Green Energy, and some of those are mentioned just using a term rather than referencing the brand. How do you filter that out? Unfortunately, it's not too easy to filter that out because the brand is Green Energy, which is also a concept. It's kind of currently we're looking into ways to do this because, like for example, Apple as a brand is also a fruit, and like that really depends differently on in search. So it is a problem, but we don't really have a good way of filtering for brand versus concept versus item. Yeah, tricky naming. So kind of like you have to like some part of it's still manual. You have to go through and see what things how to go about things. Sanjay, I'm seeing that you're sending links here. Again, we will answer these queries that are not related to the webinar at the end in the Q&A. Okay, so site audit. It's honestly a no-brainer. Just run an audit if you can on your website, and these are like your low-hanging fruits of like quickly finding like issues that you can fix on your website to at least make sure that your website is technically sound. Fix. So this is patches. I will not, we don't have time to go over it today. So I will skip through that. Web Analytics is another free tool. This is like, even if you don't have a paying subscription, you can check this out. It is basically our version of Google Analytics. The differences are A, you get to see data like within minutes, not days. B, it's privacy first, so there are no cookies, so you are GDPR compliant. And C, I think in my or at least we think that we provide a very simple way of filtering through and creating reports. So here I have the web analytics for one of our websites, BloggerJet. Like immediately on one page, you can quickly add filters. You can for different kinds of pages, so geography or browsers and systems, like it's a lot more simple to use than perhaps other platforms because all the options are just there. We also provide a very quick way to understand the AI search traffic that you might be getting, which most websites do get these days. You can see that the highest that we get is from ChatGPT. I can even filter that down. So now I have channels AI search. I want to see what kind of pages ChatGPT is sending traffic to. And that is to tools to monitor brand mentions. Google shows top 100 results, how to questions of websites, things like that. So within just a few clicks, I can drill down and dive deeper to analyze what is the traffic, what kind of pages that ChatGPT is sending traffic to without any like sort of like confusing configurations or views and stuff like that. Okay, so if your website has less than 1 million events per year, it is free forever. So you can check out. There's more to this, but this is just a quick overview about like how this free tool works and like how you can use it for analyzing your own traffic. Okay. Wait, Ahrefs can do more? So recently we have pushed out a few other tools that you may not know about that's actually not really related to either geo or SEO too much. One of them is social media manager here. So you can connect your, so let's say if I want to connect, let's make a new post here so I can show you. So in one place, you can basically post from all your different social media channels. Currently, we support Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So, and you can also do this with like different team members as well. And from here, you can schedule your different posts. You can preview how they would look like. You can also edit them in drafts before they get posted. And it's basically an additional tool which you, depending on your plan, but even the free users get some number of accounts that you can add. The higher your subscription, the higher number of posts and channels you can connect. And we're working actively to add more features to this because we know that in like the geo age, visibility on multiple platforms matter a lot. So we are providing tools to help with that in the long run. Okay, so definitely check it out because you can. I mean, you don't need, your plan should support any of your plans that you guys here have. Any of them would support this social media tool. It's just how many posts you can make and how many channels you can connect. The more, if you need more than what your plan has, you can consider upgrading. So that's one of the tools that we pushed out recently. So you can check out and see if it works out for you. The next is there are also other tools that we pushed out recently, but I will not cover them today. Like for example, if you're a local business, you can check out like a Google Business Profile Monitor, but we'll maybe cover that in a different webinar. We have different tools that help with reporting. So you can see that there's all kinds of different data sources that connected here. What if I want to generate reports so that I can monitor, customize the way that I understand my data in a more like configurable fashion? And you can do that with our reports tool, which you find here from the dashboard down here to reports. And I can give an example here, I think, not this one, maybe this one, where I help to monitor the traffic going to our help portal. So these are all just different widgets, which you can add from the top here. In fact, you can add them from multiple websites. So let's say you are handling multiple websites for a client, or you own multiple websites for your brand. You can add them all on a single page, and they can be added from Brand Radar and Site Explorer, Rand Tracker, and Google Search Console if you have it connected for your website. Okay. And each of these have like different widgets have different configurations. Like you can configure the website. You can also configure if they're filtered for specific links, as well as the granularity, things like that. And you can drag and drop. So I can really move this around so that it shows me exactly what I want to see on a single page. Okay. I think everyone should have at least one report that you can create, so you can check out this feature if you like. So it's not specific to like something into geo SEO specifically, but it helps you with basically your day-to-day management, creating of reports. And of course, then you can print to PDF after. Okay, so these are like the other tools that we have in Ahrefs. Okay, so we are at the hour. So far, for everyone that helped to join today's webinar, I hope you found it useful. I will now proceed to answer Q&A that have been piling up steadily. Okay, let's start with the question people searched about. Yeah, sorry, Ronan. I'm not sure about keyword suppression. I have to check back with our team, get back to you. Tips for someone getting started with a brand new website. Start creating. Sorry, not this one. New websites, you should focus on finding a niche in your industry that is not being like completely overwhelmed by the existing big players that are there. I actually used Brand Radar once to do something like this, but we have the, so for, I'll just show you what I did. Okay, so let's say that I want to put in a bunch of different competitors. And I wanted to explore. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to see what are the search queries that none of my competitors are in. So I can actually filter out through this. Da, da, da. Here. So let's say I want to do this in AI overviews. I want to see. So I'm going to do a proxy here where I filter for doesn't contain Puma. So I want to say like doesn't contain, doesn't contain, right? And then I can even filter this as like maybe basketball. So I'm looking for discussions, mentions, keywords that like don't mention my competitors at all. And this gives me an idea of like what sort of keywords have uh, that are discussing that are in the basketball space, but do not mention my competitors. That's a niche that as a like small business I can get into. Right? So this is something that I would probably use. But like if it doesn't necessarily have to be a brand, it could also just be under like analyzing each of my competitors and seeing what sort of like market segments that they tend to target and see if there are different niches that they are not serving as well. Like these are good opportunities for new websites, new brands. You have to do things differently. And then you create content around it. And then you make sure that your messaging is around that untapped, underserved niche. And you reach out to other websites to build backlinks and mentions that are, it's too much data, guys. Oops. So like then I look into other websites that are interested in talking about this underserved like niche that my website is good at or my brand is good at serving, right? So then you have a reason for other people to talk about your brand and not the big incumbents. So that is what you kind of have to do if you're like starting out now, if you're a small business, if you're a small website. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. It's kind of disjointed because I was hoping you guys would use the Q&A thing, but most people just ask these questions in chat. We have to go through it kind of quickly here. What about the move to AI search results? Should we look to tailor SEO to trigger a better rank of AI search results? So we vibe coded this website. Chat GPT versus Google. This is a website that we made because we wanted to see, okay, traffic is down, but I mean, or rather, clicks from organic search is down, but how much traffic is really getting pushed to AI from AI assistants versus traditional search? And it looks like even Bing is higher than any of these AI assistants here. In fact, higher than all the AI assistants combined. By and large, people are still searching in traditional search engines. So that's not to say it's not that the traffic of AI assistants is not important. In fact, we recently launched a data study that shows that the traffic that does come from AI search can sometimes be better. Like there's longer, they stay on a website longer, they click through the pages more, there's more of a intent to learn more about the brand and things like that. By and large, at least that's what we see. But you can see like percentage wise in terms of actual numbers of clicks, not that many. So whatever you do, there's currently no reason that you should give up on SEO entirely and go straight into AI search for whatever reason. You may just sacrifice all the efforts and traffic that you could otherwise get. Okay? Hope that answers your question, Ronan. Jacob's question, well, Jacob left, so I will answer this question for everyone else that's still here. My understanding is that the language should reflect your customer's language and search behavior. Yes, in general, that is true. People read summaries like Gemini and often double check, cross-examine other platforms. Yes, I mean, that's true. I mean, that's just how people try to learn about something as well. So that's not a question, actually. Okay, the Jacob's just making an analysis about how people search today. And yes, they are. In fact, there were a few people in the SEO space that tried to analyze this in detail, where they really monitored the search behavior of people when they're trying to do different tasks. And they found that people really do click on the links that are cited by AI overviews, for example. And they would click and double check to make sure that what AI overviews was actually saying is like reflected by real people that are of which created the content that AI was citing. Sanjay asked multiple times on how to get more traffic for websites in real estate. I don't know. Is this like a particular development real estate? Are you a real estate company? Are you, lots of questions here that depends on, it still goes back to the fundamentals of like, what do people search when they're trying to like maybe look for, let's say you are marketing for a particular development or a building or something like that, right? You can search for the building name here, or you can search for like buy, I don't know, let's say I'm searching for US, right? I want to buy a lake house. So I'm not looking for a particular development, but that's what people search. They're looking for best place to buy a lake house. They're looking for where. They're saying, how should I buy? What is the best time? So if you do something similar for whatever industry that you're in to try and answer these questions, I think these, in fact, like pages that answer these questions is a page format that AI tends to prefer to cite from. But also these are like, if you help to answer these questions, you get brand visibility just by ranking at the top for providing answers for the ways to do things. And then the better pages win, typically. The more helpful your page is, the better you're likely to rank as people find it useful. So this is like the shortcut way of like create useful stuff on your website to help people buy real estate. Okay, same can be said about many other industries. Of course, there are like, caveats and stuff like that, but as a general rule, that tends to be true. This is not really the platform for you to get very specific SEO advice here, if you're looking for that. What is the benefit? So Rebecca asked, what is the benefit of having the AI index add-on? What can it do that a standard package can't, please? The Brand Radar AI Index add-on is the only place that you're able to find the generated responses that we have cached for all these prompts that were entered in, like these responses. So like, for example, we did for, let's look at like the ones from Perplexity, because we saw a lot of AI overviews today. So you can see that if you put in how much does the PS5 cost into Perplexity, they respond with images. They respond with like information about what's the price range that's expected. They give links, different notes. Many links are provided here. All right, this gives an idea of like what these AI assistants are responding with. So you're not going to see this A, not anywhere else in Ahrefs, and B, not at the scale that any other tool is providing, because we provide it for lots of keywords prompted in. So yeah, you can search into AI assistant. If you don't pay for this, that's fine. Like you can search into your AI assistants now and for like search your brand or search things, questions about your industry and see what AI responses. And you can do it regularly to sort of audit and see how to respond. But by and large, if you want to see basically a whole trove of like responses to see how like things AI varies in response from topic to topic within your industry. This is the add-on is very useful in helping to see that. Razvan asked, how can we find, fix, and prevent keyword cannibalization issues? So remember that I showed you this opportunities report here. So currently I'm in Site Explorer. On the tab here, there's an opportunities report. Cannibalization, potential cannibalization is one of the opportunities. It's over here. Okay. And we have a blog that goes into detail about this. But what you can do is what this report filters for is pages that have multiple URLs ranking. So like Ahrefs.com is ranking for multiple pages, in this case, 5 or more, 6 or more related backlink checker, right? And so you can check to see what these 6 pages are. In fact, there's a lot of pages. Oops. Let's give a less confusing example. Let's go for this one. Let's look for this one. Make this sound better. So we provide like some free tools out there about for AI rewriting. And here we have 2 particular tools. In this case, they're not cannibalizing because they're just keeping their positions, like one at the very top and one like in somewhere in the top 10 or top 15. They're not fighting with each other. There are sometimes you'll be able to, and this is the only way that we can reliably see cannibalization is really just to check over time. Yeah, sorry, we have a lot of, we have defined keywords that don't have, let's filter for non-branded keywords here. This would help speed things up. Too many keywords, huh? How to check backlinks of competitors. We might have, yeah. So here we have a bit of cannibalization. You see that like sometimes this page is at the top, then this page is at the top, then this page is at the top. This is like a case of cannibalization here. Fortunately, I found it very quickly for you guys to see. You can see it was happening here. I think we fixed it later on, closer to today. Still a bit of cannibalization. You see that they're fighting in positions. So this is how this is how you'd analyze for cannibalization and see if you need to merge the pages or differentiate the pages so that they talk about like serve like very different search intents instead. Okay. Can you give some best practices on using ChatGPT linked with Ahrefs via API? We don't have time to cover that today. I know I think you're talking about like the MCP server. So Ahrefs does support MCP server. All paid subscribers now should have some limited functionality on this, where you can basically use connect with the Ahrefs API via your favorite AI assistant tool to ask them to pull metrics for you, create graphs for you, create tools for you. Okay. Right. So it's available on all paid plans starting from Lite. This is the tool he's talking about. Most likely, Razvan. I think most likely you're talking about this. I don't have time to cover it today, but I've done things like just create analysis. I put in like 5 competitors and I say, please analyze their top keywords and their top pages and see what are the common SEO strategies that they use, and as well as plot them on the graph, right? This is something you can just add into Claude or something like that. ChatGPT currently has issues with its MCP connection, so if you find issues with that and you're trying that out, they have issues with all connectors, not just ours. So currently, I think Claude still works. But yeah, it's a still relatively new tool, so that's a good thing, a good suggestion to create. Like we may create articles to cover like best practices and good use cases of the MCP server. Louise asks, what are your thoughts and recommendations now that Google is limiting results so that sites like Ahrefs can't crawl for rankings beyond the top 10? They want to hold their competitive advantage, it seems like. I mean, after Google stopped allowing it to be easy to crawl the first 100 pages, like people were noticing that ChatGPT's responses changed. They were not using Reddit as much. They were seeing that the changes with other platforms as well. So we don't know yet. We're like Google's really trying to clamp it down. We're trying to find opportunities to still monitor rankings for keywords, and we'll try different options until we can find something that is reasonable that still allows you guys to really monitor what happens beyond the first page. Sorry, not sure. Like we can't really answer more than that. In specific to low-hanging opportunities, though, our report finds positions between 4 to 15. So anything beyond the top 5. So if you are position top 8 or like top 11 or something like that, these are still things you can work on. You might be able to focus on these low-hanging fruits first, versus looking at pages that are maybe ranking at positions 40 or 50, which currently visibility is not that great. Yeah, most welcome. And Talver asked, will they before the recording? So currently we're live streaming to YouTube. So after this, you will get emailed, most likely tomorrow, a copy of today's deck, as well as the link to the YouTube recording for today's webinar. So then you can go back to whatever position you like to see any tool being mentioned or covered use cases that we talked about. That's a good place. I think that's all the questions people shared, huh? And we're a little over time, but not too over time. Anyone else's final requests, maybe to see certain tools, questions? Do you like to be covered? Good question so far, actually. So some of these I'll share with our team to see whether or not we can create like helpful resources around or to take into account when we continue to develop our tools to be more useful for you guys. Okay. Crickets in the chat tells me that there are no more questions to be asked. And so then I will bid you guys farewell. One final note is that when you close today's webinar, you will get a survey that you can fill out. Please fill out the survey because it lets us know how well we did today, as well as it's your place to share feedback about the platform, maybe future webinars you'd like to see. Please do that so that we can improve webinars in the future for you guys. And hopefully you join us in the next one. Okay? So without further ado, I think I will bid you guys all farewell. Have a good weekend, and hope to see you guys in the next webinar, workshop, or future opportunity to meet. And thank you for joining us today. Okay? Take care. Have a good one. Bye.